An introduction to the book of Ephesians. The Apostle Paul first came to the port city of Ephesus on his second missionary tour, probably in 52 CE, accompanied by Aquila and Priscilla. After a short visit, Paul departed, leaving Aquila and Priscilla behind to continue preaching and teaching. But on his third missionary tour, Paul stayed for about 3 years, zealously carrying out his ministry and forming a close bond with the Ephesian brothers. Later, about 60 or 61 CE, the Apostle Paul wrote the letter to the Ephesian congregation. He wrote it from Rome, where he was under guard awaiting trial. The letter to the Ephesians has 6 chapters. Chapter 1 highlights that God purposed an administration, or a way of managing His household. By this means, those chosen to live in heaven and those who would live on earth would be united with Jehovah through Christ. In chapter 2, the apostle likens the Mosaic law to a wall that had long separated Jews and Gentiles. The sacrificial death of Jesus abolished the law covenant and thus destroyed the wall in between the two groups. In chapter 3, Paul mentions the sacred secret of the Christ and explains that it is God's will to include non-Jews among the relatively small number of humans who are called to reign with Christ in heaven. Did you know? The city of Ephesus was famous for a huge temple dedicated to the goddess Artemis. As related in Acts chapter 19, silversmiths of Ephesus had a lucrative business selling small silver shrines of Artemis. During his roughly 3-year stay in Ephesus, Paul had exposed as wrong the use of images in worship. As a result, a number of people in Ephesus abandoned their idolatry and became believers. Because of that, those making and selling such idols became infuriated and caused a riot. In chapter 4, the Ephesians are counseled to put away the old personality according to their former conduct and to put on the new personality in harmony with Jehovah's will. In chapter 5, Paul encourages the Ephesians to go on walking in love. That love should be reflected in the family. Wives are counseled to be in subjection to their husbands. Husbands are counseled to continue loving their wives, just as the Christ also loved the congregation. In chapter 6, Paul uses an illustration about armor and urges the Ephesians to put on the complete suit of spiritual armor. Doing so will help them to remain faithful despite all difficulties. As you read the inspired letter to the Ephesians, note how we must put on the new personality according to Jehovah's will, how we should put on the complete suit of spiritual armor, and how Jehovah purposed to unite Jews and non-Jews as heirs with Christ in the kingdom.